Hi, so on this video, we're going to be talking about painkillers, going to be discussing if painkillers, say such as Panadol, are good, are they bad, and what are some of the other alternatives you may have for any kind of symptoms you have, especially things that are more related to pain or discomfort. So when we're talking about these kind of painkillers, again, whether it's Panadol, Anorex, ibuprofen, even though ibuprofen technically is more of an anti-inflammatory, but any of these things which are given to us for pain, it depends on the spectrum and the way that we're looking at them. So say as an example, say someone goes outside, they fall over, they maybe get hit by a car, someone goes for a tooth surgery and they have to take the tooth out. These are completely normal times where a painkiller may be useful. You know, if I have a broken leg, please don't take me to my chiropractor, please take me to a medical doctor, and painkillers will be helpful. In these instances, when there's been some sort of big physical injury, the actual painkillers can be quite helpful in the short term. So it really comes down to the timing when painkillers have been taken. Definitely, in the short term, painkillers can be very helpful. If someone's just gone through a surgery, a big accident, an injury, and they're suffering because of this, then painkillers are especially useful to help them get through that point, especially again in that short term. However, when it comes to long-term care, this is where things start to change. So if say somebody is having something where there is no kind of resolution to it, then I understand how painkillers can be something which can offer them some level of relief. However, in the majority of cases, not all of course, but the majority of cases, long-term use of painkillers is actually going to be more detrimental for that person. Say as an example, say someone is having some sort of pain, say like headaches or migraines. If they had them say once a year, they took a Panadol, to be honest, it's not that big a deal. At least in that case, it's something where it's much more spread out and hopefully they're not having to take the medication on a repeated basis. But say they're having it something that's very regular, say it's once every month, and they're taking Panadol even once every month. That's still 12 times a year, and that's still more than we would want to be taking. I'd always think of medications kind of like say with children. If you wouldn't want a child to be taking medication that often, we probably shouldn't be doing the same as adults either. So when something becomes more regular, becomes more chronic, and of course for some people not just once per month, but once per week, once every few days, this is where the body is actually able to start to cover up some of those symptoms using the painkillers. Now that may sound great, it may sound like great, I take this pill and then I don't feel anything. But the problem is that because you can't feel anything, you can't feel if there's more damage happening as well. A classic example is if you take enough painkillers, especially really strong ones, you could really hurt yourself. You could literally set your hands on fire, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be beneficial for you. And it's the same thing with these painkillers. So if you keep taking them on these habitual long-term bases, it actually can start to do more damage to the body because the body can't feel the damage that's happening. And the problem can get worse and worse as it goes on. And for anyone who's ever experienced this, they may find they have to then take more and more and more painkillers at stronger and stronger doses. So in the short term, painkillers can be very useful, they can be very helpful to us, but in the longer term, it can actually be more detrimental, and it's good to try and find another way to deal with that issue. Whether it's something that may be related to say if there is a surgical problem, having a surgery, whether there's a different type of medication that may be helpful, whether it's something that chiropractors can help, whether it's physiotherapists, osteopaths, even going through, say, a more psychiatric route. All of these other things can be more helpful in these cases rather than just depending on the painkillers for a yearly and continued lifetime basis. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them into the comments, or you can drop us a message at 84389550. You can also call that number, or you can email help@vitalitychiropracticcenters.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible.